Hey, hockey fans, and welcome back to another edition of Puck My Life. Tonight, I am joined by Caleb. How we doing, sir?
Doing good. Happy to be here again.
Well, we're happy to have you back. So, Caleb and I went and saw the Grand Rapids Griffins. This was part of a two-game road trip for me. We actually were based out of his place out in Grand Rapids. And the first night, we saw the Griffins take on the Manitoba Moose, which this was November 12th of last year, one of the first games I went to last season. And then the next night, we were down in Kalamazoo and we watched the Kalamazoo Wings take on the Indy Fuel. If you haven't already, go over to the homepage and look for the thumbnail for that. And it's the Kalamazoo Wings game experience. You can check that one out as well. All right, so let's get into tonight's game experience. So the Grand Rapids Griffins, for me, it's about a 3-hour, 167-mile trip. But for Caleb, it's a heck of a lot closer, within just a couple minutes, right? Like
Yeah,
5.
it's just down the road for me. I could bike there if I wanted to.
Is it close enough you could pogo stick downtown, or is it?
No,
So
not
take
that
it low.
close.
Not that close. Okay, that's fair enough. So, all right. So they play at Andel Arena, which is located in downtown Grand Rapids. It's actually like a really cool looking building. I had only heard about this place from a lot of my friends who had gone there for Griffins games, but I had never actually been there before, nor do I remember even driving by it. I know I went to some things as a kid in downtown Grand Rapids, but I don't remember the building. But it's definitely got like a really cool look to it with the whole glass front and the way the roof is and everything. It is really a neat building, and it's got a pretty cool feel to it as well. And then the inside, it definitely, to me, I don't know about for you, Kale, but it definitely felt a lot bigger on the inside than you would have thought by looking at it from the outside. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely is a lot bigger feeling when you're inside the area, as well as I'm sure you're going to talk about the concourse and all of that area too. Before we even went in, I just want to mention the outside. It's a really nice area too, to hang out before the game. So if you came early, you can walk around a little bit. There's plenty of food, places to get drinks, different stores and stuff like that, just within walking distance of around the outside of the stadium. So,
And had you attended any events in this building prior to this game that we went to?
I'd gone to a couple things like a while ago. One was a hockey game, but it was like a Red Wings alumni kind of thing, so it wasn't even the Griffins playing.
Okay.
And then I went to a concert. I don't even know, probably 10, 15 years ago there.
Wow. So
It looks way different set up as a concert than for a game, obviously.
I'm sure. Yeah, this was definitely a really cool arena, and I was happy that we went and saw them. All right. So first up in our game experiences, we like to talk about the parking. So as far as parking around the arena and stuff like that, it's not all that bad. We actually were across the street and stayed in a parking complex. We had the car. We didn't stay in the car parking complex. Bear with me, guys. I'm kind of coming out of a little bit of a sickness, so I've been in a little bit of a fog. But anyway, so there was a nice parking garage across the street that we went to. And like Caleb said, plenty of bars, restaurants, everything. We made sure we got there early because we kind of wanted to walk around and check some things out. And I think, wasn't parking like 15, 20 bucks? I can't remember exactly, but I think it was right around.
I think it was about $15.
Yeah, and definitely there was other parking garages and stuff around. So there's a lot of parking in the area, and we didn't really see anywhere where you could park for free. So you are going to spend at least 15, 20 bucks pretty much no matter where you go in and around this arena.
I think if you park probably farther away from the stadium, it might be less, but in that general vicinity right downtown, yeah, you're going to be looking at probably 15 to 20 bucks.
Man, you're not far from some major roads, so it doesn't really. For us, it didn't seem like it took very long to clear out. Maybe like, I think we were back at your place in like within a half hour or
Easy,
so.
yeah.
Yeah,
Easy,
so
yeah.
it really wasn't all that bad. All right, next up is tickets. Now this is an AHL team, so they're just a tier below the NHL, and tickets really weren't that bad for us. It was $26 a ticket plus some fees and everything like that. So it really wasn't all that bad for this game for two tickets. You can see right there the total was only $63, and we did sit lower bowl. We were section 107. We were seats 15 and 14. One thing I will say about the seating, though, especially in the lower bowl, because we did kind of we went around the arena and kind of checked out a few different spots, like prior to the pucks dropping and stuff. But it seemed like in the lower bowl, especially our section, I felt like the seats were a little too close together. Like I felt like they could have spaced them out just a little bit further apart, but I mean, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. I mean, did you kind of have that feeling too that
Yeah.
we were packed in a little bit?
Yeah, it was packed in a little bit. Like if a strangers were on either side, you're kind of that uncomfortable, especially if you're a big, broad-shouldered gentleman like ourselves. But overall, the seats were really nice. It wasn't dirty or anything like that. And we did go sit in the top level too for a little bit at the towards the end of the game. Remember?
Yeah, just to kind of go see what it was like up there.
I will mention that the view from every seat, as far as where we look good. I don't think you could go wrong with the seat in the house, even a less expensive seat maybe.
Yeah, definitely plenty of good viewing angles for sure. All right, merch. So one thing that was really cool, and I like it when arenas have this. So this was their main team shop, and this was actually at ground level. So they actually had it open prior to the game. So this is actually before they closed it up. Like I think they closed it up like maybe 45 minutes before the game actually started. So me and Caleb actually went around this team shop, was checking stuff out. And then we went to a bar across the street and hung out for a little bit. But yeah, they had a really good selection. And I was really impressed with what they had. I really wanted to get this jersey. This was a player like quality jersey, and a lot of teams that I've gone to don't really sell these high caliber jerseys, like the made in Canada, the really nice jerseys. And I don't know how many of these they actually sell a year, but when you're looking at a price point of $389.99, I mean, I would love to have one of these in my collection, but I think it was like only around 180 to 200 bucks for like the replica version. But I don't know, Caleb, do you think you could ever see yourself paying almost $400 for a Griffins jersey?
Honestly, if I had the money, if I had the money, maybe if I was like a season ticket holder and I was going to be going to the games a lot, then it may be worth it for me. But in the moment, no. Right now, for me, it doesn't make sense. It's quite expensive.
I think you pose a good point, because I think having these types of jerseys available, and with, like you said, if you were to become a season ticket holder, this is definitely something that I would invest in, because when you're a season ticket holder, you're saying that you're investing a lot of time into this team for the course of a whole season. And I think something like this would definitely hold up in all the wearing and stuff like that. Because I got replica jerseys. I mean, this is one of the replica jerseys I have, but I don't wear it to a lot of games, because I'm not going to see the Griffins like 20 times a year. I might see them once a year, so I'll bust this jersey out one time, wear it to the game, and then it's done. But like you said, being a season ticket holder, something like this is probably more enticing, because you're going to be wearing it 20, 30 times a year, and the way that it's constructed and everything. Because with these patches and stuff like that, depending on how you take care of them, and they can get messed up pretty easy. So something like that would definitely be better if you're a season ticket. Well, sound off in the comments, guys. Let us know what you think about that and the prices of some of these jerseys, and if you would buy one of these, whether it's for the Griffins or your home team or whatever. Just let us know in the comments.
It's kind of a little bit of a flex too if you're wearing it,
Oh yeah, for sure. Because
everybody knows. Oh shoot, that's like $400.
And they have a little bit heavier weight to them too, which is I like that. I like wearing a heavier jersey.
You could tell the quality of difference. It almost feels worth twice as much, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so this was funny thing was when I took this, when I was going through these photos and I posted, I didn't realize that we caught this guy just like staring at me. Like, why are you taking a picture of the merch stand? And it's like, I didn't realize that he was staring at me when I took this, but I just thought it was kind of funny. But so they had like another little merch spot upstairs. We had to go up an escalator to get to the main level. And the team store, sometimes when you go to some of these places, the team store is hooked up to the main concourse. So they'll just shut the doors for people who are coming from the outside in, and then they'll just let the people who are already inside like roam around in it. Well, in this case, they actually shut down the main team store, and then this is all they had open during the game. But after the game, they did reopen up the team store downstairs, and so that was kind of cool. But they pretty much had everything that they had downstairs, minus a few of like the little novelty stuff. They had most of the, all the jerseys and all that kind of stuff up here. The pucks and whatnot were up here. But yeah, so it was kind of cool to see that. But unfortunately, this was the only spot. Once you got up, checked in with your tickets, got through security, this was really the only spot to get stuff. So let me see where we're at and everything. So yeah, nope, we got back off a little bit. All right, so what I ended up getting from the game, show you the puck that I got. So they had the official game puck for the Griffins, and this was, I think, like $25. So this one was a little more expensive than some of the previous ones that I had been to, but still I had to have it. And then I did end up picking up a t-shirt, and this was right around $30. I think they did the upcharge on this because it was a 2X, and so some arenas do that, some don't. Usually it's like, if it is an upcharge, it's usually like a $5 upcharge if you're getting a bigger shirt, like I like to get. So
the nice thing with the puck is it came with the case, though, too.
Yeah, and we've talked about this in other videos that these cases run about $8 to $10 if you buy them at Arena, or if you just bought them online or something like that. And this has got like a seal on there. It says it's got the AHL symbol, and it's got like some kind of like authenticity seal on it, which is kind of cool. But it was still a little more expensive than I would have liked to pay, but it is what it is. I had to have it in the collection, so it's just a one-time thing I had to buy.
Worth it
For sure. All right, so concessions. So one thing that we did not know prior to the game, at least I don't think you might have known, but we went on $2 beer night. Yeah, so we, as you can see, there's a lot of people congregating to this corner because this was one of the few spots in the concourse where you could go and get those $2 beers, and the line was long.
And $2 hot dogs, right?
$2
hot dogs and $2 beers. Yeah.
So it was definitely, for concessions, it was definitely a good night for that. You could definitely tell a lot of people had busted into that $2 beer come about halfway through the second period. Some people were getting a little rowdy, but
we could see people like walking up the steps carrying like 4 pitchers because they were waiting, or not pitchers but glasses, because they were waiting in line for 30 minutes. They're like, give me 4 of them. They're walking up the steep steps trying not to
so much beer. It was insane. I never seen that many people like consuming all this beer like at an event like this. There was beer everywhere.
If you don't like beer, don't come on a $2, because it seemed to be a lot of college kids, and it was a heavy drinking game, I would say, for $2 beers.
Yeah, exactly. It was nuts. And then they had like the regular stuff. You can see they had Dippin' Dots, and Everything else was pretty standard. There wasn't anything special. They had a couple like little bars and stuff like that, but nothing too crazy. But it was cool that we were there when they had the $2 beer and hot dog night. All right, atmosphere. So this was taken. I think this is just before the end of the first, and the Griffins did end up winning this game. I can't remember exactly what the score was. If you want to find out more about this game and see some of the live action stuff, head over to the Instagram. The link is in the description, and you can actually watch some of the clips from some goals that were scored and also the end of the game when they sounded off that they won and everybody's up and cheering and hooting and hollering and all that. You can check that out in the highlights tab under the AHL logo. But yeah, it wasn't like a fully packed house. A lot of people had already gotten up at this point to go and get some refreshments and stuff like that. But overall, like it was a pretty good crowd. They were loud the whole time. I know the beer helped a lot with that too. But
$2 beers, baby.
The $2 beers definitely added to the atmosphere for sure. And it was still like I still felt like it was a pretty decent family-friendly event. Like even though there was a lot of beer, like people did seem to keep themselves in check for the most part. I didn't see anything.
I didn't see anyone acting drunk or anything like that, or going over the top, or being rude, or fighting, or we didn't really see anything like that.
Yeah, I didn't see security escort anybody out. I was actually at a Tigers game a couple weeks ago with Cody, and we were sitting there and we saw like a bit of a scuffle and some security came down. This guy had been drinking and tried to pick a fight with this other guy, and they were all getting in a tussle, and everybody's like cheering that they're taking him off in cuffs, and it was crazy. But we didn't see anything like that at this game, and it was not $2 beer night at the Tigers game. But yeah, the fans they were great, had a good time with them, and definitely look forward to seeing some more games with them in the future. All right, so this is one of the first games, if not, I think the first game that I started to spot the Mighty Ducks fan, and we were walking around the concourse, and I think Caleb like nudged to me like, "Hey, there he is," and there he was. We caught up to him. He was a little bit ahead of us, and you could definitely that jersey sticks out in the crowd because the Moose, their colors is like blue and white. And then with the Griffins being the affiliate for the Red Wings, there was a lot of people wearing Red Wings jerseys and obviously
a lot of Wings gear.
Yeah, a lot of Wings gear. And so this jersey definitely stuck out like a sore thumb. So we were like rushing, caught up to him, and I snapped this photo. But they're definitely out there. Be on the lookout this season. They're going to be at an arena near you.
I think he's got the Wings hat with the Ducks.
Yeah, so he is
jersey.
So he knows how to cheer for some good teams.
He's
definitely a kid of the 90s for sure. All right, so the puck score for the Grand Rapids Griffins, I gave him a 7 for parking, 10 for tickets, 9 for merch, 9 for concessions, and a 9 for atmosphere to give him a total puck score, or give him the main puck score of 44. Now, Caleb, what do you think of my critique and puck score for the Griffins?
It's okay, but I'm going to be a little partial because it's like my hometown team. I think the parking score's got to be higher. It was pretty easy. It was pretty easy parking. So at least maybe an 8 or a 9 to bring it to 45 or 46, which is probably a pretty high score. But hey, this is a pretty good team.
So I will defend the reason why I put the parking at that, because I kind of had a feeling that would be something that you would talk about. And one of the reasons why I put it at a 7 is because there wasn't any good, like, real cheap options or any free parking that you could take advantage of when you got down there. True. And the other thing that I didn't like is that because there's all the parking garages, if you got stuck on the top level of a parking garage and you had to wait for people to get out, you could be stuck in a parking garage for like an hour before you get out. And that's a lot different than if you're parking in like a main lot.
I'm not going to lie. I have been stuck in one of the parking garages downtown for like a good 30-40 minutes for an event one time, and yeah, it's not very fun.
Yeah, so that's why I put him at a 7, is just because there wasn't a lot of lot parking. There was just a lot of parking garage parking, and unless you're on that first level and you bust out of that arena and you run to your car and you get out, I mean, you're most likely gonna get stuck in. Like,
or if you pogo stick to the game, then you're fine.
Next time we'll have to try that. We'll pogo stick from your house down to the game and see how it gets. Or it'd be cool if you got like some little mopeds.
Yeah, we have those little scooters and stuff.
Yeah,
around town
like
now.
the Lime scooters, or
yeah, those are pretty cool. So yeah, that's probably something you could do if you want to, lower costs of parking. But you're gonna have to pay for those too. I think if you plan it a little better as far as the parking, you might be able to find something a little cheaper. I wouldn't be surprised if on the other side of downtown, away from the event, you got to walk a little bit, a few blocks. It's probably half the price.
So you have to sacrifice something if you want to save a few bucks.
Yeah.
In the end. So for the WoW/X Factor, there wasn't really a whole lot that like kind of blew me away about this game, but I did really like that it seemed like they try to do like a lot of events. They were always announcing like, hey, this upcoming night we're doing this, and this night we're doing this, and we were there for the cheap beer and hot dog night. So I gave them an extra point for that. Besides that, there was like it seemed like it was a well-ran organization and that they knew what they were doing, and they've been doing it for a while, so it seemed like it was well thought out, well executed, and but just nothing like blew me away. Like the intros weren't crazy. It wasn't, I've compared other teams to like the Chicago Wolves, but like how often do you see the mascot skate onto the ice and he's shooting like fireworks out of his arms? Like, we didn't see that at all. I don't even know if I
it's pretty hard to beat
mascot.
That.
Do they have a mascot?
Mascot? Yeah, huh? He was there. He was there.
Okay, for some reason,
he was walking around.
Okay, because for some reason I'm like sitting here. Like I said, guys, bear with me.
Also remember during the game they were flying around one of those little blimp things and dropping a bunch of different like free pizzas. I got a free pizza. Remember, I got a whole deep dish pizza at the game. I got
wasn't it? But it was like a redemption card. You had to take it to somewhere though. Like it wasn't like for the arena.
I got a pizza there for free, and I got a redemption to get a haircut. There was a haircut.
It was that
Great Cuts or something like that. One of those chains clips that I would never get my haircut at. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
They go to get your hair screwed up. I mean, what?
Yeah.
No, I agree with you, but I thought there was a for your kind of like local team. I mean, it's not a major team. They're not, the Wolves or something like that. I thought they actually had a decent intro. Didn't they have a little arch thing they came through, and they had some lights and stuff like that going and music? I thought they did at the beginning. No. I thought they had some of that.
I think you're thinking of the next night when we went and saw the Wings, because I think they had that.
Yeah.
So, but overall,
that's what I was disappointed in, and I agree with you on the. But yeah, they were very professional in the way that they handled the organization. I agree with you. So I agree with the wow factor.
Yeah. So total score, they're getting a 45, which I think is really fair for this. I thought everything else was good, and definitely a team we're seeing. And one really cool thing that I was going to talk about earlier, but I just feel like I'd save it to the end. But so this is when we were sitting in our seats, and I looked down, and I saw a player that I recognized, and it was Cole Perfetti. And the last time I had seen him was just before the pandemic, and he was playing for the Saginaw Spirit. I watched him actually have like a game-winning breakaway goal in like overtime to win it for him, and he's such a really good player to watch. It was really cool to see him play. I wish I would have realized, because I knew he was on the team, but for some reason I blanked, and I wish I would have wore my my Spirit jersey to that game and try to get his attention to get like a warm-up puck or something like that. But it's just really cool. Now I've seen him at 2 levels. I'm hoping to see him because he's with the Winnipeg Jets organization, and so I'm hoping to see him in the NHL soon. So I'm gonna try to see if he's. I think he should make the cut to be on the team this year. We'll see. I'll check the rosters when the NHL officially starts and see if he's going to be on the full roster. And then try to go out and see him this upcoming season. But that was definitely some extra icing on the cake for me to go to this game. So it's definitely made it took it up a notch.
So what about the cherry on top? Didn't we run into him in the concourse at the end after the game?
Well, we did run into him at the concourse. I was going to talk to him and see about getting a picture, but he was on the phone with somebody.
Hey, but it still happened. We still saw it happen. You don't need a picture.
Yeah, because what initially had happened, there was a puck that I wanted to get that they had for sale in the main team shop that was the one downstairs, and it was a puck that showed the conference that the Griffins were in and showed all the other teams from the conference. So I wanted to go get that puck. When I went back in there to get it, they said that they had already sold it, and I'm guessing they sold it before the game started because it was still open like another half hour before we went before they closed up before the game. And so somehow it was gone. They didn't have another one upstairs. They were trying to find one for me, couldn't find it. And as we were leaving out of the team store, I walked right by Cole Perfetti. He was there on the phone. I was gonna wait for him to get off the phone to try to get a picture with him, but I knew he'd probably have to go right back into the locker room. So I was like, I won't bother him. But it was just that was really cool as well. So if you haven't already, we talked about it earlier. Head on over to Instagram. Check out our Instagram page there at Puck My Life. Link is in the description below. And you see there we have the highlight tabs. You can check on all the other games and leagues that we've been to. Click on the AHL tab, and you can see highlights and other in-game content exclusively from this game. So that's growing, and love to see you guys over there if you get a chance to. So, all right. Well, that wraps up tonight's game experience on the Grand Rapids Griffins. This is definitely a team that I want to go see again. As of right now, they're not in the plans to go see this season. There's just so many teams that I still want to go see. It might be part of a multi-game road trip. I know Caleb and I were talking about this before we went on here that we want to go see Western Michigan and possibly Ferris. And there's also another team in Muskegon that we want to go see called the Muskegon Voyagers. So there's another team there. So there's still a lot of teams that we still got to see. So if I go over and see Western one weekend, but nobody else is around and the Griffins are in town, we'll probably go do that just to kind of throw in another game. But as of right now, they're not quite on the radar for me for next year. So we'll see how things go. But I'm sure you're definitely going to hit some more games since you're within pogo stick hopping distance from them. So you'll go to a few games, huh?
Yeah, I'm sure. They always have so many different events going on at Van Andel Arena, so there's always a lot of fun stuff going on here.
Yeah, it's a cool arena. It was a really good experience. I'm excited that we went. I am looking forward to going there again. So we'll see how things shape up. So, all right. Anything else before we let everybody go for the night?
Wait, did you talk about the giveaway?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was supposed to mention that. Thank you, Caleb. So the giveaway, we were going to do the giveaway drawing and pick the winner on Monday, September 5th. But with it being the holiday, we're going to actually push it back to Friday. And since we're pushing it back to Friday, it looks like possibly Mark will be able to join us. I don't know how many more of the Puck My Life crew will be on. If any of you guys, Caleb, Cody, whoever, Jose wants to jump on, we can all be on there for that. Whoever, I don't care. Whoever's on there, we'll just have to get it done. But we'll
try to have one big party for it.
Yeah, one big party. So we'll be verifying everything right now. I'm starting to go through and get all the lists of all the people together. And then what we'll be doing is, my plan is to do one of those spin the wheel things and put everybody's name in the wheel, whether you got in one entry or two, and then just go around until there's one name left. So we'll see how that ends up and see who wins the puck. And I'll show it real quick. You're entering in a chance to win this puck case, the puck, and the schedule for the Battle Creek Rumblebees. So yeah, and submissions in that, it's all been cut off. So if you got your submissions in, we're going to go through and check all those, verify them, get the list together, and we'll do the drawing next Friday night. So yeah, awesome. Week from today. I'm just like, with being sick this week, I'm just kind of off a little bit on like what day it is and everything. So it's like, okay, it's kind of come back to reality a little bit.
We made it. We did it. We did the show. It's good. We made it.
Yep. And so the next one, actually, Caleb will be on for the next one. We're going to be doing the Muskegon Lumberjacks, and we'll be talking about how we got jacked in Muskegon. So that'll be a fun one. We really enjoyed that one, and that was a good one. I can't wait to talk about that one. So we'll leave it at that. So you guys have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you next time when we talk about the Lumberjacks. So yeah.